This week on Nintendomain, even though our hair looks fake, our passion for arms is real.
And darn it, those dang octolings are back.
Damn it. Welcome to Nintendomain, episode 70. We're your hosts. I'm Trey Min Johnson.
This is the 70th episode.
70, yeah. 7-0.
That means my name today is Jeremy Golden Girls Bukowski. I think they were about 70.
Yeah. And this is your place to come listen to a podcast that swears to not forget all the things that we forgot last week to mention here on our podcast.
We always correct our mistakes, so just listen to the next episode if we missed something.
Yeah, which we have some stuff that we forgot, which we'll just jump into the new stuff then or now. Wow.
Now. It's then to us now. You're listening.
We passed then. When? Just now.
Just then.
What happened to then? It left. All right. Not a Spaceballs cast here. It's a Nintendo cast. So there was a Direct today. We're going to talk about that later after our break. But first off, let's talk about the other news that happened, aside from stuff we forgot last week. I forgot to mention that there's this game called Fire Emblem coming out this Friday, for sure, on my birthday. We didn't even mention that at all. Fire Emblem Echoes.
It's the DS one, right?
Yeah, the remake of Fire Emblem Gaiden, the Japanese one, which I guess is the second game on NES, I believe. It's
right, like a sequel.
Yeah. It got rated already on IGN. They gave it like a 7.8. I'm planning on getting it. I just got a new SD card for my 3DS for my birthday. So
shiny.
So I have more space in there. Well, I wanted to get one so I could download stuff like the Miitopia and stuff like that, because I don't want to buy a cartridge version of that, because that's going to be something you just play a little bit, and then bounce to another thing. So I wanted to get another card just to be able to download all Ever Oasis and Fire Emblem and Miitopia, maybe Kirby too, or maybe Pikmin, I don't know. Some of that stuff towards the end, because I'm tired of getting cartridges for 3DS. So I upped my hard drive by 2 times. I got 64, so it doubled. Re-downloaded a bunch of games that I didn't have. So I re-downloaded Xenoblade Chronicles, so hoping to get back into that and beat that at some point.
Oh, cool.
When I beat all those other games. Well, I want to at least beat that first one, hopefully. Well, I'd like to beat both of them before the next one comes out, which I keep forgetting that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is supposed to come out this year. Do you think...
But it's a sequel to the first one, right?
Yeah, it's a sequel to the first one, I believe, even though the characters look way different. And it's probably going to be like Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy, where they don't really have to do with each other.
Oh, right.
Where it's it just a number. Okay. Yeah, even though the first 6 Dragon Quests you could say were... Well, the first 3 for sure were sequels, sort of, because they were involved ancestors of each other, and the second 3 involve a certain type of equipment that's in all the games, but they don't really the stories don't really cross over, I guess. So I don't know. I figured it would just be a new thing because I didn't see what's his head in there. Shulk. Yeah, I don't see Shulk in there in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so I don't know. And the characters look a lot different. They look more cartoony. But yeah, I keep forgetting that's supposed to come out this year, so what do you think? We're going to see that at E3, right? For sure, probably?
Yeah, we're going to be gushing about Xenoblade all over again.
Yeah, I really have a feeling that it's going to get delayed. I don't want it to, but I have a feeling that it's not going to make it this year.
Yeah, and if they're really inundating us with games like they seem to say they are, they may poach each other if they're released too close together.
Yeah, that's true. Well, because Xenoblade and Zelda were supposed to come out at the same time, Xenoblade Chronicles X, if you remember that. And I was like, man, there's going to be a crazy winner,
And now we know, sure, we just probably wouldn't have played Xenoblade at all.
Oh, yeah, I would have played Xenoblade. They're
occupied with Zelda for sure.
Yeah. They're completely different, and the exploring on Zelda is much better than Xenoblade, even though the exploring is good on Xenoblade, especially when you get the skells.
But maybe it has something to do with the people from Xenoblade that worked on, or from Monolith that worked on.
Oh, sure, yeah. Well, I thought that was a good thing that Zelda got delayed that year, because then Xenoblade would have time to shine, and yeah, if Xenoblade and Mario are coming out at the same time, they might kind of knock each other out, even though they're different games, but I don't know. Different. But E3, I think, will tell us for sure, whether we see Xenoblade or not. I keep forgetting that it's like supposedly on the slate just because all we've seen is like one trailer and nothing else. Yeah, like it was never talked about on any of the directs and all that. So,
I feel like there'd be more media being released. So my theory is that Mario Odyssey is actually the it's actually the Rabbids Mario RPG hybrid.
Oh, you think there's Rabbids in Mario Odyssey?
We're gonna find that out at E3. It's gonna.
Oh God,
Mario Odyssey is an actual 3D RPG with Rabbids.
Oh no! I don't want that to happen. That'd be awful. It's like, oh yeah, and the rabbits are in there in New Donk City.
I mean, there are rabbits in hats and rabbits that aren't in hats.
Are there?
In the trailer, yeah, you see rabbits.
Oh shit! Well,
they're not Rabbids; they're just rabbits.
Well, they could turn into rabbits eventually.
Good, man. Maybe it's just early, footage.
Heard it first here on Nintendomain. Rabbids in Odyssey.
Oh, God.
Lord help us. Speaking of RPGs, a magazine that I never really gave two licks about did a top 100 list of RPGs last week and put Skyrim at the number one spot, which is, I think, completely incorrect in every way. But
yeah, so it's just RPGs. It's not like...
RPGs, yeah, role-playing games.
Oh,
and I glanced at the list. I didn't read all of it, but I did see that there's only one Dragon Quest game in there, and that's Dragon Quest III, and it ranks at 99. So that's some bullshit. I consider that list incorrect. Considering
they probably threw in Final Fantasy VII towards the top.
No, 6 is in the top. Like I think 6 and Chrono Trigger are in the top 5. I think they're like 3 and 4. I forget what 2 is. But if you read the comments, they're pretty funny. Like people like going off on Skyrim and all that. And I don't know, that game. I never played Skyrim, but I played Oblivion and I hated it. So but from what I've read of Skyrim, it has a lot of the same problems as Oblivion, like pretty much all of them. So I can't see myself having any enjoyment out of that game. But with a game that's so flawed, like it really can't be number one, I don't think. Sorry. Like cows like rain from the sky in that game. It's
like I think I was telling you recently when we were talking about this that the thing with Skyrim and why I don't think, one just glaringly obvious reason it shouldn't be at the top is that it's already showing its age. It's already old to play it. And then you play something like you just mentioned Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VI. Sure, the graphics give it away that it's old, but the gameplay is time.
Well, and sprite art ages much better than realistic art.
Yeah, for reals.
So like any of the Dragon Quest games that you look at, I think still look great. Same with like Final Fantasy. Chrono Trigger has aged very well because it's not like something. It doesn't look bad. It's still like it's still art. It still looks like a 2D thing, and
it's at the tip top of its limitations, the hardware that it was put on.
So. Oh yeah, so it's not like it doesn't like it's not like weird like the weird early 3D of PlayStation or anything like that. It's like sprite art. Which sprite art ages really well. That's why people are still doing it nowadays. So
I think that early polygonal stuff could age well too, though. That could definitely be a thing that people get obsessed with at some point in time.
What, low poly stuff? I mean, I've seen toys that you can buy of like low poly Snake and stuff like that from Metal Gear, which I think is pretty cool.
Snake.
Yeah, that you can buy like a doll that like his face is all blurred and all that, and it looks like which that's cool. And I like that as like an unlockable suit, where you can unlock like this scrappy looking 3D model. I think that's funny.
Yeah.
And I wish more people would do stuff like that. Like there'd be some indie games where they make like a low poly 3D game. Just don't make it as bad as like those original PlayStation ones. Like just at least make it to where like when you walk up to the wall doesn't move. If you remember that. Like how the textures would always like swirl kind of whenever you walk next to them. Especially in like Tomb Raider, stuff like that. And Tomb Raider had awful controls too. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm talking about, like stuff that doesn't age very well. I mean, I still play, like I said before, I still play a lot of my retro games. And some of those 64 games I think work pretty well still, depending on what it is. Like that Ultimate Muscle game that I mentioned last week, which I forgot to mention that my girlfriend bought that for me. I just said it was a gift. But yeah, my co-host of Honey Darling Show got it for me early, which is pretty awesome. But that game ages pretty well, I think, or has aged pretty well. But it's also like cell shading sprite art as well, so. Mm-hmm. Or more colorful art, so that's like most realistic things. They don't last very long. But yeah, I never really like thought anything of Game Informer's ideas on things, because I remember like back in the day, back in the early 2000s, reading their magazine, and they were just completely wrong on like everything. Like I remember them like putting the wrong title down there for Metroid Prime, even. Or like saying things that were incorrect about that game. I remember reading it like when we were in Kentucky at Brian's house, like looking through the magazine and being like, "This is not correct. This is all just bullshit." So that's kind of my opinion of Game Informer, so I never really, gave a shit like what they said about anything.
Yeah, Game Informer was always like if I remember correctly, you got it for free if you bought the power-up card or whatever.
Yeah, it's part of the GameStop power-up card.
So there's a point in time where I had that as a free subscription, quote-unquote free, whatever.
Yeah.
But I just remember it was one of those magazines, and I mean, most magazines are like this nowadays, especially, but it was just like a giant ad.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of getting it for free, but it's really just like a catalog of ads with a few stories thrown in every 5 pages.
Yeah, they're also
and like you said, kind of like almost like if you would compare it to gossip rags or something, as far as what it's
sure, yeah,
would be.
It's like
in other media.
It's like the equivalent of National Enquirer or Weekly World News, but not as fun. I mean, Weekly World News is fake, but that one was more fun because Bat Boy and
Bat Boy
and other ridiculous stuff was in there, so that was actually kind of fun to look at. But yeah, it's
there's always Bat Boy and Weekly World News.
Yeah, and other sort of weird stuff. And they've also kind of been known as being pretty anti-Nintendo from what I've seen.
Oh, right.
They haven't spoken too well on the big end, so that's how I feel about that crappy magazine.
Yeah, I don't know how far back they go. I mean, obviously they were, that far enough back you were reading them that time in Kentucky, so I just wonder if they at any point were directly competing with Nintendo Power.
Oh, yeah, Nintendo Power was still going then. Nintendo Power went all the way into the Wii time, so I don't know. But yeah, I remember reading it. It was right around the beginning of GameCube. It was around the time that we were playing Super Monkey Ball. We were playing Super Monkey Ball 1. And I remember reading the magazine and just looking at, because it was preview, Metroid Prime preview stuff. And it was completely incorrect. Everything that they put in there. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember reading it and being that's not true. This is not correct. So
they called Thardus Fartus.
Yeah, something like that. They probably said it was 2D. And said it was it was a 2D game. But yeah, whatever. Game Informer. Skyrim's not the best RPG. Eat it.
And I don't want to talk shit about Skyrim, but it never was my cup of tea. And I also think there needs to be more time to really, truly put it in the scope of things.
Yeah.
Right now, it just kind of seems like a turd in the punch bowl, so to speak.
For sure, yeah.
Really? Come on.
Total turd in the punch bowl. Actually, IGN did a top 100 as well, and they put Chrono Trigger as number 1. So
good choice, IGN.
They I think it was Chrono Trigger was 1 and Final Fantasy 6 was 2. So at least they seem to know their shit better.
I'm sure there's got to be some really great, really old RPGs that might not be considered back in the day text-based or something.
Yeah.
Maybe had their own merit and would be awesome, and that's why I think
Zork?
maybe Zork.
Yeah.
I just think having that broad RPGs topic, is it console RPGs? I guess maybe if they specify console RPGs.
Well, I think it's supposed to be all of them. There's, Warcraft was in there, World of Warcraft, and Diablo was in there as well. But the IGN one had a lot more Dragon Quest in there, so that's good. I know 7 was towards the end, but there's a lot. Yeah, but that was the PlayStation 7. But I think I'm pretty sure 8 and 3 are in there for sure. Probably 5 should be. So I don't know. I didn't read all of it, but I remember seeing more Dragon Quest stuff in the IGN one. But it'd be hard to make it. I don't even think I've played 100 RPGs, even though I do play a lot of RPGs. But I don't think I've played that much.
I'm definitely not beating 100 RPGs.
Yeah, for sure, right?
A lot of random ones, briefly.
I mean, I could maybe name 100 RPGs.
All right, let's start right now.
Yeah, right. Number 100, Skyrim. Oh, wait. I mean, that's 101. But yeah. Cut it out of the list. So there's a new trailer for Sonic Forces that came out. You can design your own hedgehog thing on it. Hedgehog, animal, whatever, bipedal running thing on it. You can give yourself glasses and shit.
So is this is it kind of seem like it's making a Mii, but a hedgehog version, or?
I don't know, I guess. Sort of, except
you can map your face onto it. I wonder about these things.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
That would be completely terrifying if you could face map your mug onto Sonic's head.
Well, if it's the Switch, then how would you do it? There's no camera on it.
Ooh, good point.
Yeah.
I mean, link it to Facebook, I guess.
Yeah, right. Just go to Facebook and take a picture of it on the thing, and then wrap it around it. Now it looks weird. It's they look like some sort of echidna type thing, sort of a Knuckles looking dude with glasses on the trailer. I hope you can make a Big the Cat or something like that, or some other weird character. Maybe you could be that Amy. Make her too.
Amy's cool.
Some of other Sonic's friends. I like Big the Cat because he had guns.
Who was the one that had a fishing pole?
Oh, Big the Cat had a fishing bowl too. But yeah, there was that. More Sonic Forces stuff. Still not really sure about that game, but I want to see a release date for Sonic Mania. I'm still pumped for that game.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Speaking of games that are 2D that are getting re-released and updated, sort of. Street Fighter 2 comes out next week on Friday, on the 26th.
Oh, the Switch one?
Yeah, the Switch one.
Cool.
For $40. I don't think I'm gonna get that.
What?
I mean, I like buying my $8 Neo Geo games. Like, those are great fighting games you can get there. And I know there's not like a 3D first-person Hadoken shooting level on there, man. But you don't need that, really. And I'm not really a huge fan of the HD, of like the HD animations of the new Street Fighter 2 either, to tell you the truth. But whatever, you could use Violent Ken and Evil Ryu, I guess, if you want that. But
yeah,
I don't know,
man. I mean, it's definitely a game that it wouldn't be harmful to wait around and see how it catches on. If there's a strong community surrounding it, then it might be worth getting for the online and all that.
I mean, I like Street Fighter 2 a lot, and Street Fighter 2 and Super Mario Brothers are probably like neck and neck for games that I bought way too many times. Like, I've probably bought Street Fighter 2 like 10 times at least for various systems.
I feel like I just saw you buy it recently.
You did. You did, because I bought Street Fighter 2 Turbo, the Japanese version, for Super Famicom. Which, when we talked about last time, I totally forgot to mention, like, how, I mean, I'm sure you know this, but all the bosses' names are different on the original Japanese is the way they are.
Oh, cool.
You know that, right? Like,
so M. Bison is the boxer.
Yeah, so the boxer is M. Bison, and Vega is M. Bison, and Balrog is Vega, and Sagat's still the same. He didn't change. But yeah, they're all changed to the way they're supposed to be in that game. But yeah, I did forget. I forgot about that. I bought. Yeah, you just saw me buy another Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I mean, it's dumb. I have like a Game Boy Advance one. I have Super Famicom one. I had like a Super Nintendo one. I think I ended up selling it. I have it on Wii. I have it on Wii U. I have it on PlayStation 2. I have it on PlayStation 3. I pretty much have it for like any system that it came out for. It seems like so.
So you got to keep up the good work, man.
Yeah, got to keep buying that Street Fighter. So I don't know. It's just $40 seems crazy. And also on that same day, Disgaea 5's coming out. And if you go to the eShop right now, you can download a free demo of it, which is pretty awesome.
It is awesome.
You knew that earlier. You have to go into the area that says coming soon, look at the games there, but there is a demo in there that you can find. On the American one, you don't have to go to the Japanese one. I put off ordering buying the Japanese one online and all that. So, and now it's come time that Disgaea 5 is going to be out. I'm wondering if I'm going to buy it next week or not, because I'm planning on getting the Fire Emblem tomorrow, and I don't know if I want to drop like another $60 like that soon, but especially since like Fire Emblem and Disgaea are kind of similar, and I want to put a lot of time into Fire Emblem.
I mean, it's a good problem to have. It shows that there's a lot of good games coming out, and you're building a back catalog, and it's not like it's going to sell out in the eShop. You can buy it later.
Yeah, that's true. But you should
also. I don't think this guy is a game that can be spoiled.
Yeah, I was going to say you should get it though if you're looking into it. But you bought another game too, right? After the last podcast.
I did.
Yeah. Another. Speaking of people who own multiple copies of things,
for the 5th time, I bought Minecraft.
Minecraft. How is it? Have you put some time into it?
I've maybe played it maybe an hour. I've started 3 worlds. Was unhappy with the first 2 attempts. The one I started recently, I think I might keep. It's a little better, but so far it feels like it did on the 360. I would say it looks about the same. No surprise, since they all look the same. But the draw distance isn't super great. I'm a little disappointed by that, but I also realize it's not that important. It's just like a visual marvel that the PC is able to give me that I miss, because I'll get really high up. I'll get as high up as I can, and you can survey the landscape. Zelda taught us that. I was already doing that in Minecraft.
Oh yeah. Is it
you can't really see that far away, so that kind of sucks.
So you really haven't determined like if it's larger than the Wii U one or not?
Well, actually, I have. On the 3rd attempt of a world, I just wanted to go dead north and see what would happen. Well, your map, you get a map at the beginning in the console versions. In the PC, you have to make a map, so you don't have a map until you get all the shit to make it. But in this version, you get one from the get-go. And so I pulled it out and saw how far I was from the north border of the map, kept running north. Lo and behold, I left the map, and I was in a different area. So
Oh.
I already know that it's at least 2 maps. It's at least double the size of the Wii U. I'm inclined to believe that it's the 3x3 like I had read before.
Oh, okay.
It's 9 total, so it's bigger. That's good.
So you couldn't go to a separate map on the Wii U?
No.
Like, did you try to do that, where you ran to the end of the map?
You ran into an invisible barrier.
Oh, okay. Crazy.
Yeah. Usually it would be water, but there are times where you would just be walking along the land, and there's an invisible wall you couldn't cross.
Damn those invisible walls.
Yeah, really annoying. Because I would encounter them underground sometimes. I'd just be like, why can't I walk down this tunnel any further? So I'm sure the same thing happens at the edge of the map on this version, but it's just that the edge of the map is a lot bigger because there's 9 times the space inside. So yeah, it's cool. I think it's going to be worth playing here and there. I don't know, man. I just don't really play Minecraft a lot anymore, but I'm definitely down to play it if you get it at some point. We can do some
Yeah, it's not on my radar. There's too much other stuff coming out right now, which is good. But
I really wanted to buy something, and I couldn't convince myself to get Playgrounds. Yeah. I might still come around to that game eventually, but I wanted to get the Minecraft and show my support. And definitely at some point I'm going to take it on my Switch on a trip and try to play some portable and really get a feeling for like what that's going to be like. Because the Switch version, as I said in the last episode, is the
portable,
the biggest, most portable version, I would say.
Yeah. Well, after the last episode, speaking of Playgrounds, I finally got it downloaded. Finally got it to work. Like I was having issues with the internet, and I just tried doing the Xfinity hotspot with it, and it just downloaded and worked. Pretty much right after we stopped recording last week, it just started working, and I'm like, oh shit! So my roommate Conan, we played it for a while. We did 2-player, and the game's weird. It's different to where NBA Jam, you start NBA Jam, you can pick whatever team you want. All the teams are unlocked. This one, you start with no characters. They give you a couple bags of trading cards to open. So you open these trading cards, and whatever players you get in the trading cards, those become the guys that you can play as. So there's not actual teams. You're just collecting players from teams is the way it works. And there's a tournament mode that you unlock after you level up for the first time. You get experience points for playing at all. If you lose, you get experience points. If you win, you get more. That type of thing. When you level up to level 2, which you'll do from playing a game, whether you win or not, the first time you play the game, you'll unlock the tournament mode. And when you get to tournament mode, you'll play 4 different matches with 4 different randomly put together teams. And every time you beat a tournament, you get a gold pack. And gold packs have higher percentage of having legendary athletes in them, or legendary players in there. I got a guy named Stephen Curry from the Golden State Warriors. I don't know if you know who he is, but he has insanely high 3-pointers. So I've just been nailing 3-pointers one after another, and just going through the tournament like that. Where Conan just plays direct defense, just gets the ball away from the team and throws it to me, and I get a 3-pointer almost every time. So that's how we've been playing it.
That's fun. And
we've been, it gets more difficult as you go. And it has
just 2-on-2, right?
Yeah, it's just 2-on-2. But we've been doing the co-op, which is cool. It's great that you can do a co-op tournament mode on there. That definitely makes it worth playing, especially, you can do it with the Joy-Cons if you take them off. It's totally instant 2-player co-op right there. But yeah, it's weird. It's like a mixture of NBA Street and NBA Jam pretty much. It's more complicated than NBA Jam, but it still kind of tries to be sort of pick up and play. It's weird. It's a weird hybrid. And
so when you played it 2-player, have you just been using the Joy-Cons, or do you use the dog bone and the...
Oh no, we use the dog face and the Pro Controller. That's what we've been using. We haven't been using the Joy-Cons, but you can. We just didn't, because I have 2 controllers. But it works fine. Like I said, I got a couple legendaries. No Magic Johnson or Shaquille O'Neal or anything like that. I don't know if Shaquille's in there or not, but I know Magic Johnson is. But yeah, it's kind of I know nothing about NBA. I only watched basketball for 1 year when I was in high school, and that was when the Suns almost won and got beat by the Bulls. But yeah, so I have no information whatsoever about basketball. So I was playing with Conan, and I only recognized one person, and that's Derrick Rose, because he used to play for the Bulls, and he's not in the Bulls anymore. But he's on there. I saw him. I knew who he was. So I was playing as him for a while when I got the game. But yeah, you unlock different locations. You start in New York, and then you go to Tokyo, and then you go to Paris from there, and you kind of travel to different courts, and you unlock the courts as you go through the tournament mode. And it's pretty much just, go through and get your guys. There's no online mode yet, so I have not been able to hop on and see what people are doing and all that, but it's fun. It's fun for what it is. I'm not I I don't feel regret for buying it and all that. I'm glad that it finally works. It's a shame that it took me so long to download it, but my card's still messed up, so I'm going to have to reformat it and delete it or whatever, which sucks. Because it has it says I only have 100 megabytes free on my 128 gig card, and everything that I have on there, none of it is over a gig, the stuff that's on there. So there's no way that it would even be 10 gigs. It's ridiculous. So I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, I haven't really, ever since then, I haven't really played the Switch much since NBA Playgrounds. Played that for a while and then got distracted by some other stuff. So that's what's been going on for me.
Speaking of the 2-player, whatever, plug and play or whatever, I did bring my Switch to work again the other day because I really wanted to try Mario Kart Tabletop Mode 2-player.
Oh, yeah?
And I'll tell you what, it's playable, but it's very crampy trying to play
yeah.
Mario Kart Joy-Cons. And it's also just holy shit, that screen, pretty small.
Yeah.
But it was playable. Me and my friend Kyle played for about 5 or 6 matches. We didn't play through a whole GP or anything. We tried a few different modes out. But it's definitely playable. And so, yeah, I got my first field test with Mario Kart 8 in the wild. And it's playable. I'll give it that.
That doesn't sound very convincing. You're like, well, I played it, and you can play it, I
think if I brought Dogface and the Pro Controller, it would have been a little better. But the screen size is definitely an issue. Because it's split horizontally. Yeah, horizontally. So
it's not. Yeah, you can't. Can you do it vertical?
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I thought you could.
You wouldn't be able to see very high above you.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought you could split it down the middle on that. I don't remember though if they gave you the option to do one thing or another.
But yeah, whatever. It's what it is. It works. And I imagine it'd be the same with NBA Street, or NBA Playground.
Yeah. Well, NBA Playgrounds.
This is not the way I actually want to play this game.
Yeah. Well, NBA Playgrounds. It's a. It's not split screen. The screen doesn't change at all, like with playing 2-player, so that always helps. So it's not like you'll still be able to see it. And I think we could probably do it tabletop if we hunched over the table and got our faces in there. It's okay for what it is. Well, I haven't tried Joy-Cons, but I'm sure they work okay for what they are.
I guess they released an update to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Actually.
Well, what does it do?
Well, I'm looking at a list of things right now. I don't really know what was going on, but I guess something about Inkling Girl. There's something about her animation that they had to change, and I'd like to figure out.
Oh, yeah, because she was flipping the bird, from what I saw.
Yeah, well, they got rid of that.
Yeah, well, not flipping the bird, but putting the fist up like you would without the finger,
Yeah.
That's what I saw. But I guess,
so I guess in this version, you can see your opponent's names in the rear view mirror when you're in online matches, whatever.
Oh, if you do the switchback, if you hit the button and look behind you.
You get a little bit longer of an invincibility period after you get hit in online matches.
Oh, okay.
Up to 2 people can spectate a group of friends while they wait to join. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Maybe I could if you and someone else I know were playing, I could just watch you play for a little while and then join.
Well, you used to be able to do that online. While you're waiting for a match to start, you could watch the end of whatever race is going on. So, so you don't have to just sit in a room watching a loading screen or whatever. So I know they did that.
Whatever this is, worldwide and regional modes add players to mirror and 200cc matches less often.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Can now properly create a friend lobby when you have 100 or more friends. Once again, not sure what that means. Inkling Girl's animation has been adjusted.
Yeah.
Starting positions in online races now properly reflect the order in which players join. That must have been something people whined about.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Driver me is now properly showing facial expressions, I guess.
Is he still wearing a helmet?
I don't know.
That's what bugged me about that game. I mean, I like I talked about in our Mario Kart episode, I talked about how much I like the Mii's and the Wii one, because it would change all the backgrounds into Mii's. And you could also see your Mii's head. You could see their hair or whatever. But when the Wii U one came out, I guess they thought that maybe they were doing the wrong thing by showing the driver not wearing a helmet. So now they wear helmets, so you can't really see any of the features of your Mii's face unless you turn the card around. So it kind of takes out some of the fun of putting your Mii in there, because you can't even see the shape of their head or their hairdo and all that. So that was kind of a bummer for me. I mean, I'm sure Nintendo was trying to be safety cautious. They're oh no, somebody's going to go riding a motorcycle now without a helmet and we're going to get in trouble,
Yeah, they tend to think really far ahead like that.
I figured, there's probably some kid that got in a wreck and he's Mario Kart Wii told me to do it because I don't wear helmets. Something
I just saw
that,
a slow motion of the Splatoon girl, and that's definitely
yeah.
That definitely means fuck you in some
Yeah, it's definitely the bird.
I've seen that before. So it's kind of funny.
Some developer must have slipped that in and tried to be it's funny, see?
Yeah, so So whatever. It doesn't seem like that much change. Maybe they really wanted to change that, and they just did all these other things to. Whatever. I don't know
for sure.
But so Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, yeah.
Yeah. So there's in other news. There's been a sign of maybe a virtual console on the rise. 6 TurboGrafx 16 games have been rated for virtual console release. This is stuff that isn't. I think this stuff that's already been released. Or no, it's rated for Wii U. Never mind. So it's not the Switch Virtual Console. So there's still, it's like Bonk 3 and Newtopia 2, Air Zonk, Alien Crush, Devil's Crush, Soldier Blade. So it's all stuff that hasn't come out yet on the Wii U. So I guess they're still going to push it out for that. I was hoping that it was something for Switch, but no, it is not. But yeah, if you're still playing TurboGrafx 16 on your Wii U, then some more games coming up. Hopefully they put Castlevania on there, the Rondo of Blood. Because that game is really cool, like which I mentioned before after our experience with the Retro Classic, Midwest Gaming Classic. It's an awesome game. You should try it. It's hard as shit, and I can't seem to get much farther than where I was stuck at, but it's a really cool game. So they should put that on there. I'd totally get it again I'd get it for $1, I guess, on Wii U if they put it on there. Even though I don't think there was a discount on any of the TurboGrafx 16 games. Because it was only $1, I'd get a Devil's Crush again. That's a really cool like pinball game that's on there, which I played a lot. It came out towards the beginning of the Wii on Virtual Console. It's a good TurboGrafx game. There's also a new Harvest Moon announced for Switch, the Harvest Moon Light of Hope. So got that coming. It's coming out for PS4 and Steam also. But it'll be playable at E3, so we'll see what that's all about. It's been a long time since I played a Harvest Moon. I think the last one I played was on GameCube. Well, I guess the last one technically I played was on Game Boy Advance, but I mean like a newer one. Like the newest one I played was the GameCube one.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to make it to the machine before
Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I wondered it would suck if they came out at the same time because I think it's not going to do well against Stardew, right? Or maybe they're trying to defend their title against Stardew. I don't know.
That still seems counterintuitive.
I guess you're in like a lighthouse town. That's what the Light of Hope is for. Kind of stole that for Animal Crossing. Well, Animal Crossing has a lighthouse in there, but you don't actually do anything with it. But yeah, we'll see more of that as it develops at E3, which is a couple weeks around the corner. Keep forgetting. Nintendo's developing a Legend of Zelda smartphone game, which they're planning on putting out after the Animal Crossing game comes out. That's kind of not that much of a surprise, I guess.
Yeah.
But at the same time, why? I don't know. I mean, I'm not really, this really isn't my demographic at all, or I'm not involved in the demographic for this. I don't play anything on my phone because I don't like phone games. I just think it's the worst way to play games, so I just don't play anything on there, really. Even though I downloaded Super Mario Run, had fun with it, for like a couple weeks, but I don't go back to playing games on there,
For me, it's just like nearly without exception, phone games just kill your battery. So you're like, well, I don't want to use it to play games because then I don't have it.
Yeah.
I have a phone.
Well, you need your battery for whatever. Yeah.
Text somebody
gotta check your Twitter feed, man.
Gotta check my Twitter. Gotta update my MySpace.
Yeah. gotta put some LiveJournal stuff up. Like post to Diaryland. I mean, there's so much you gotta do.
Doing HTML on anything but a touchscreen is like impossible.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you gotta update that GeoCities site that I know you still have going. Maybe they'll show Legend of Zelda at E3. Probably not. The Legend of Zelda phone game.
They'll have a whole day devoted to the new Zelda on.
Yeah, that's why they're only doing only one day for Odyssey. The rest of the days is all iPhone games or cell phone games. Apparently, Sega says they're planning on reviving some of their major IPs, which I say go for it. I mean, it'd be really great to see Echo the Dolphin in 3D, right?
Heck yeah. Now you can't see them at SeaWorld anymore,
Yeah.
I think you can, but...
Echo?
Well, they're starting to phase out.
Dolphins. Yeah.
Dolphins and whales at aquariums around the world.
Yeah, now you just look at water and seaweed. No more fish. But I'd like to see some new Phantasy Star games. The Shining in the Darkness. Those like turn-based Fire Emblem type games would be cool to see. Streets of Rage. That's something I'd love to see come back. Eternal Champions. Is that Sega? They could bring that back around.
Golden Axe,
yeah. Same thing. Altered Beast, man. Bring that back. Altered Beast 10. Oh, well, I guess there's only one. Altered Beast 2. This time with bigger muscles and tinier heads. And more interactive credits.
And more rising from your graves.
Yes. Always rising from your graves.
Now you rise from your graves at the beginning of every level.
Well, isn't that what happened anyway?
Oh, right.
Is there anything I'm missing, or are we good on news?
We'll remember next week.
Yeah. Yeah, we figure out next week. We'll come back and talk about it.
I think the thing that I found last minute was the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe update.
Oh, yeah. Well, Thumper comes out next week. We mentioned that last week, I think, but it comes out on Thursday. some sort of crazy
Violent
rhythm game. Yeah, I like to. That sounds cool. I'd like to check that out. Actually, no, it comes out tomorrow, not next week. Thumper comes out tomorrow on the 18th, so we'll have more news about that next week for sure. Let's take a break, and then we'll get into the Direct. So today, announced like a couple days ago, there was all ARMS Direct and a little bit of Splatoon, too, at the end. Nice little nugget of extra stuff at the end there. 22-minute Direct, but they broke down some more stuff on ARMS.
Yeah, it was pretty chock full of info.
What are your thoughts on ARMS now? Are you more on board than you were before, or how do you feel about that?
Well, I'm definitely going to try the global test punch.
Yeah.
I liked it okay. At the event we went to, it seems like it's got a learning curve, and I can't just jump right into it. So I look forward to having it and being able to practice it and get more familiar with mechanics.
Yeah. I feel like they were really trying to, let you know that the game is deep. I felt like that was a lot of the Direct, because they were talking about like, there's all these different different hand attachments that you can use for every character for different gloves, and there's like thousands of different combinations you can do. They unveiled
each character has like a special of some form.
Yeah, they all have specials, and all of them, from my understanding, like they all start with 3 weapons that you have, but you can buy the other weapons as you go through the game and earn like in-game currency and all that through there's like a training mode, which showed before, where you can like break the targets and stuff like that. They showed a couple new multiplayer stuff that looks fun. The volleyball and basketball look cool. Like it kind of reminds me of old like Tekken 3 stuff. If you ever played that, like there was like a whole mode where you had to like play volleyball and like hit the ball back and forth to each other. I think Street Fighter 3 does that too, to a point also. Where there's a thing where you have to like to deflect a beach ball.
Oh, okay.
But the basketball one's really cool. Like that one looked fun actually. I mean, they both look fun, but basketball one's interesting.
I love in the basketball one, that you like reach out, grab your opponent, and use them as the ball.
Yeah, and you can punch them into it like a 3-pointer, I guess, and you do like a throw slam stuff with it. So that could be a lot of fun. I could see that being like something that really catches on and people get into. Yeah,
it's nice to know there's a lot of different multiplayer modes, kind of mini game looking things. And then there are 2 versus 2 matches where you're tethered to each other, which seems a little annoying, but
yeah, that was weird. Yeah, where you're tethered to your teammate.
But I guess to make the 2v2 matches work, maybe they had to introduce some limitations.
Yeah, you can do that in the Grand Prix mode as well, though. They said that Grand Prix is co-op, which you go through. It says you have to win 10 matches in a row, I guess, in Grand Prix. And if you like slow motion through the Direct, you'll see there's a big like guy with green tight shirt that he's wearing, like he's wearing like this tights. Yeah, he's wearing a belt, so it seems to be there's a secret character in there that's probably the boss of the Grand Prix. So that's pretty cool. Start off, just went through the characters. There are a couple new ones that were on there. Am I right thinking that was Kid Cobra announced before this or no?
Kid Cobra didn't. I felt like I'd heard that before.
Oh, okay, because I couldn't tell if he was new or not. Like I didn't recognize him, but his like we had one of the weird like long gloves, but there's another version of that that Ribbon Girl has. So we would have already seen that one at the event that we went to. But
maybe that's just a name that jumps out to me. Maybe I haven't heard it before. But.
Yeah, the Slamamander is what it's called. It's like a longer one. It kind of like moves like a snake.
It looks like an oven mitt.
Yeah, but Ribbon Girl has a Slapamander, which is the same thing. I like some of these names. Like there's Homie and Siki, are both homing missile ones. I thought that was funny. Homie and Siki. And there's like Slapamander, and there's like the Coolerang is one of them. There's the Boomerang and there's the Coolerang. There's like the Tri-Bolt and the Kid Cobra. He has like the Hydra, which is like which is like another 3 missile thing, which is cool, but it's vertical. Like there's just different stuff in there. And they go through. They went through all the different attributes, I guess. That there's like electricity and fire and.
Oh yeah, there's like 7 different.
Yeah. There's like you can use like one to stun and like one to do another thing. And with whatever the blob one is, I forget what they call that, but
the ink one.
Yeah,
blocks your.
But you can do like the blooper type move from Mario Kart, where you get the ink on the screen, you can't see anything. You can do that on there. Yeah, and we mentioned before there's a Global Deathfire coming up next weekend, so same thing as Splatoon. You download the basis thing for it. Get to hop on. I'm sure it's like the same. It's the same thing, right? It's like a whole nother where you like hop on at a certain time, play for like an hour, and then it's probably some sort of weird times where it's like 6 to 7 in the morning or whatever.
Yeah, like early
2
in the
to
morning
3 in the afternoon, whatever. Yeah,
a little later in the evening.
You haven't seen any of the times, but that's what I imagine it would be. You might have to stay up till 6 in the morning again to do it. But it seemed like, it definitely feels like they're trying to do a lot of the same stuff as Splatoon. I got a lot of the vibes for that. They even said
especially since they call it a test punch instead of test fire.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're also, and they also said that they're going to roll out free DLC stuff every week. That's what Splatoon did. Same thing. Except this isn't the same with that one where it's saying like, here's stuff you're going to get later. You're just not going to get it at the beginning. That was the problem that Splatoon did. But this is just saying like, this is what you get now, but we're going to bring you stuff later also. Which I thought was really, that's what kept me on Splatoon for a while. Was that they kept like adding new like weapons every week and like new levels and new like clothes or whatever. They just kept adding stuff to it. So like there was always a reason to return to it, so they could keep that going. But yeah, they went through all the characters. Was it Mechanica, the girl and the robot, like Springman, Ninjara, Master Mummy? I didn't know the Master Mummy. You get your health back while you're blocking.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. It's his bandages that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, his bandages help him like as he's getting punched.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny how they pretend like they're giving you a backstory and then they're not. They're like, one day everybody that has these arms are just born with them. They don't really know how they got them.
Oh yeah, that was at the beginning where they showed like all the hieroglyphics, and they're like, could it be that aliens like brought them here? And like it shows like an arm with a head on it, and it's like, oh, people tried to make it, but it never worked. And then it's like, yeah, they just woke up and had them, and didn't know where they came from, but we're glad that they were there.
There is a character that looks like an alien, like made out of jelly.
Oh yeah, the goo guy. Well, he's Helix. Yeah, Helix was a new guy that they announced. He's like some sort of blob guy that like can move around and dodge things. He has that blob thing that I was talking about, like the one that shoots the ink at you, the blorb. Yeah, he has the ice dragon, the blorb. Yeah, Helix. He's a stretchy body all over the place. Yeah, Guardian. He has like one of his power-ups is like a big one of his power-ups is like a big shield thing, which is cool. But yeah, they showed you some strategy stuff where they're like, throw this right and then throw the other one left.
Right.
And they got into a little bit of the technical aspects about the different arms, too. They're like, different ones have different weight, depending like light, medium, heavy. They all do different damage, And
the harder they hit, the slower they move. Pretty much.
Yeah. And if you hit if you throw a punch at the same time as the other person, it's the same weight, you can block them with that, which is cool. I didn't know that. Like you can throw a punch out and it'll automatically drop their punch down if it's the same weight.
They're making it seem like it's very deep strategy based. You're best off getting 2 different types of arms.
Yeah, you definitely want to switch it up.
But I'm sure there's going to be people that dominate using 2 of the same arms that figure something out.
Yeah,
maybe the arms you unlock as you go further have multiple attributes or something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see like what people end up picking. Like when you hop online, like when Splatoon happened, it was like the roller, or the roller was like the OP thing, that everybody had that you kind of just rolled over everybody with. I'd be really interested to see like what people pick or like what it ends up being that that works the most or what you see the most. It's going to be really interesting. Like next, I guess in a couple episodes we'll get to tell you about that. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what's going to happen on the internet for this, because I think everybody's kind of like, I don't know. It seems like some people seem to be more sold on it now, but it still seems like people are just waiting. And it's good that they're doing this big test punch thing, so get an idea of it. And it comes out next week too, or not next week, next month, like in a few weeks. But yeah, they showed some more modes on there in between the characters. There's there's like the regular fight mode, which random items drop, like you can like refill your health. There's like other like bombs and stuff that you'd have to dodge. Yeah, you talked about the team changed, volleyballs, basketball. Yeah, there's also the skill shot with the targets. There's 1-on-100 where you fight a whole bunch of like little dummies, I guess, that you could just go through. It kind of reminds me of some of those old, like the Wii Sports Resort game with the sword. Do you remember that? Did you ever play that game?
I don't think so.
Yeah, in Wii Sports Resort, like it was with the Wii Motion Plus. So there
yeah, I did play that.
So there were sword games in there, and there's one where you just kind of walk and a bunch of people like attack you, and it's kind of you against like 100 people. It kind of reminds me of that, except you're not like walking. You know, you like go through the island and people come up and you fight them. It kind of,
or it's like when you fight all the different polygons in Smash Brothers. Is what it reminded me of.
Oh yeah, but hopefully not at the same time, because there's like so many of them in Smash Brothers.
Well, in some of the modes, they would be like generating as you beat them off.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it'd get to that point. I mean, you don't want to do like 100, like if they're coming up like every 10 seconds or whatever.
I mean, this is the first time this Direct today is the first time we've seen that multi-tiered stages, right? Like,
yeah,
there's things you can jump on top of and attack from above and all that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I saw like all I saw was like pillars that you could hide behind before you could like move around, because you can do the whole curve thing around them and all that.
Yep.
Yeah, but there's like an arm test / training mode that you can do. You know, like I was saying with the break targets and all that. They were talking about like as you unlock coins and buy new arms, you can buy duplicates, I guess. And if you buy a duplicate, your arm gets upgraded where the damage is higher.
Yeah.
That's
I
pretty
think
cool.
There's some kind of random nature to the power-ups you get.
Yeah, there has to be. There's actually, I forgot to mention this for NBA Playgrounds, but they do a similar thing, you know, since they do like the trading card thing. Like if you happen to get a duplicate point of any character, you automatically get like free experience points for that character. So That's cool. You get like 100 XP if you get like the double of a guy. So, because like you can level up your characters too. So they just throw you experience points if you get double cards. So it's a similar thing.
I think my favorite new character that was introduced was the dual character, Bite and Bark.
Oh yeah, yeah, Bite and Bark. That's a weird character. Yeah,
it's
they're
a
like
robot and a dog at the same time, but they're both a robot and a robot dog.
Yeah, yeah. The guy was like, it was like, why is there two people? There can't be two people in there. Why are there robots? I don't know. Who knows? Like they're just in there. Like that's the kind of how the announcer was talking about it.
It's kind of like the ice climbers of ARMS.
Yeah, it was Bite and Bark. They have the Saki, Cracker, and the Bub are their weapons. Like I said, their weapons are funny. Don't forget about Twin Tail also.
Yeah, Twin Tail.
Twin Tail. She's the hair fighter.
So she's like Dixie Kong kind of.
Yeah, she's like the Medusa of them. You can fight people with her hair.
And then of course, is it Min Min? No, Min Min's the one who rides in the. What's the name of the?
Min Min's the ramen girl.
Oh, Min Min is the ramen girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ramen girl's back and the announcer once again.
Yeah, he talks about how he wants his arms to be noodles again.
He's jealous of her noodles.
Yeah, yeah. Min
looks
Min.
like she has noodles for hair. I think you're supposed to.
Yeah.
I think she's got like.
Well, she has yellow hair. It's not. I think it's just like straight down though, sort of a bullish cut.
But I think it's like fettuccine hair, and then her arms are ramen. Maybe
could be.
Is she the one that has the dragon arm?
Yeah, Min Min's one with the dragon arm.
The dragon arm's kind of cool.
Yeah, which if you the dragon arm actually reappeared on the Helix. Helix has one also. He has the ice dragon, which is like that dragon arm. So you see like all of the different weapons, you've seen them all repeated in some way, but they call them different things. Like I said, like the Slap-a-mander and the Slam-a-mander, and like the Siki and the Homie.
Siki and Homie.
I still get a kick out of those. Yeah, Min Min has the dragon, the megawatt. Yeah, there's a megaton and a megawatt. Like those are kind of the same too. But yeah, Bite and Bark that we were talking about. They two different guys, but they can stack on each other. I guess whenever he gets a special move. You can like become one giant robot bark thing, robot dog thing. So that and I guess the dog like kind of just randomly attacks the other opponent while you're using him.
Yeah, it looks like he's got one arm, and you've got two. So the dog gives you the extra arm, but he just does whatever he wants.
Yeah, he kind of just randomly attacks people for you. Yeah, Twin Tail. She has the Chilla. She has a parasol, which is like an umbrella that you use, which looks pretty cool. That's kind of similar to the Guardian, I guess, of Helix. Yep. And Mechanica was the girl in the robot. She kind of reminds me of Luca, or like Tron-Bonne.
Yeah, she reminds me of Luca.
Or like, do you remember Tron-Bonne from Mega Man?
Like
the robot girl that has like the big robot.
She had Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, I actually have the PlayStation 1 Tron-Bonne game. Like it came out on PlayStation 3. I bought it it was like $2 or something. But
kind of reminded me of Drill Dozer 2, which is
another sure. Yeah, they did like a whole 3D adventure thing with her and her robot, which is pretty cool to play actually. But yeah, she's totally like Luca. So they got back into they go into more modes after that. They said talk about the Grand Prix, and I guess the Grand Prix varies in what it is. Like it's not all just punching stuff. There could be like volleyball or basketball or whatever in there as you go through it. It's you can do it. You can do 2-player also, like I mentioned before. You can do co-op. There's you can do a party match online, which you can use 10 systems for, which is pretty rad. You can hook up 10 systems online. You can do two people per system, so you can do co-op online stuff for ARMS. That's good. I mean, Splatoon didn't have that, so it's always nice to have a 2-player online. I know Mario Kart did, but then after that, it seemed like nothing else did. There's a ranked mode also, which is only like 1-on-1. And your number will go up depending on like how you win or lose or whatever. You can also do local multiplayer and create lobbies for 8 systems at once. So lots of cool multiplayer stuff on there.
Yeah, it seems they're going all out with this one. Want to make another Smash Brothers Splatoon type game.
Yeah, crazy party game.
Another esport worthy title.
Do you think it'll actually make it to esports?
I think they really want it to.
I know they want it to. Well, there's the whole like people saying like, well, if it's motion controlled, then it's not necessarily 100% reliable. But I keep hearing talk of that you can not use the motion control. I didn't see anything in the direct, but people keep saying that you can use a regular controller on it.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know that.
So that intrigued me even more. Like if that you don't have to like punch the air, you can actually just play it strategically like a fighting game, just with a regular controller. But we'll find out. We'll find out when the test punch happens. So then after that, after they talked about the local multiplayer, they went through. They're saying like, oh, we're gonna do basically what they're gonna do the Splatoon thing. They're like, we will continue. We will be rolling out free DLC like every week. Like probably like new characters, new hands, new levels. Like same thing as Splatoon, which that really helped. That kept me playing Splatoon for months afterwards. They kept adding stuff, and you didn't have to pay for any of it. And then they gave the date for the Global Punch. Then it showed. Then they went on. It showed like the champion guy. If you freeze through it, you see the guy with the belt. You also see a character that kind of looks like a moon. Like you look in the sky, looks almost like Majora's Mask moon, sort of. You see it floating in the sky, and then you see a guy standing with the moon on its head, like moon as its head, and then 4 springy arms all come out of the head, like at the very, very end of the presentation. Which if you blink, you miss it. But that's got to be like either a DLC guy, or maybe that's like one of the bosses for the Grand Prix, or maybe you can unlock him later or something. But he looks really cool.
Looks scary.
Yeah, he has like wide eyes or something, as you were saying.
And 4 arms, man. That's more than a bark and bite.
Yeah, he's got 4 arms coming out of his head. It's crazy. Yeah, you just see like the silhouette of his head, and then like all these arms like come out at it. That's what that direct was. But there was a nice little extra thing at the end there for Splatoon, which I thought was a really cool added thing. They just do...
Yeah, and I'm surprised they didn't wait till E3 for this. They must have a lot to tell us at E3, and this was just worth telling a little early.
Yeah, no, it's the thing I kept asking about, or that I've talked about on the show before. They finally showed the single player. The single player looks awesome. Yeah, it shows the Splatoon character walking through the town. He runs into Mari, however you pronounce it, from Callie and Mari. Follows her through a vent, or through like a sifter, whatever you call it, mesh. It's the same way. It's the same way you did in the original one, like where you found the old man and then you fell through. And yeah, she talks about she mentions the Octolings for a second, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm Mari from Callie and Mari," and he doesn't recognize her. But then it goes into this big like montage of all these different, just like a sizzle reel, I guess, of all this different shit happening from the single player. There's like grinding in it. There's like stuff where like the paint rolls out. There's just like all this cool stuff that it's showing. It looks a lot like the original one, but there's a lot more stuff. It's like conveyor belts. You see a lot of the weapons that were on the original Splatoon, like the buckets in there, like the miniguns in there, like all of the stuff that they added towards the end there is all on there. They even have like the paintbrush is in there as well. So it shows like some more like weird looking boss stuff. There's a giant guy riding a unicycle, which looks pretty weird. Towards the end there, but yeah, it looks awesome. Like, what do you think about the first person stuff, or the single player stuff they put on there?
I mean, I already wanted to buy it based on my experience with it at the event, and now that I know I don't know how beefy the single player mode's going to be, but it looks fun.
I mean, it's I put like 10 hours into it probably, and it was a lot of fun. Like, I hope that I hope they're not doing a similar thing, because in the original Splatoon they did it where you like when you buy the you play through the single player, and if you buy the amiibo, You get to play the single-player levels with different weapons, depending on which amiibo you scan. And that kind of seemed like, I don't know, like something that could have been in there, I guess, without the amiibo. So I'm wondering if they're going to do that again, if you're going to have to scan them to do, to play, like, because you could, like, play the boss, like, with the roller, or play the boss with the like, you know, with the other weapons. Because you only got one weapon on the single-player, so that you'd get extra stuff. If you did the amiibo, but yeah, I'm super excited now for because I bought the original Splatoon just to play the single player stuff, so I'm really happy to get into that again. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of really cool bosses in there, and I don't know if you noticed, but it's kind of, to me, it like felt a lot like Super Mario Galaxy playing that. Well, because it does, like, you do something and then you go to a thing and then you shoot off to another part, and it reminded me of like traveling between the planets. So I don't know if you got the impression from watching this time, but to me it feels a lot like that.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of like little planets, little mini areas, and then you travel from one to the other.
Yeah, but yeah, it looks really cool. It looks like they went crazy on it, and I'm really excited to play it. Got 2 more months till that, but yeah, it's definitely, this year is really shaping up really nice for the Switch. I mean, it's crazy how many games have come out. I mean, I know they lined it up, but there's like Zelda, you know, Mario Kart, then Minecraft, and this guy, Street Fighter, and then big Nintendo stuff. It's like ARMS, Splatoon. What's August? I know, like, I don't know if we mentioned it, but there was an interview with Kimishima like a couple weeks ago. He was talking about how he's like adamant about having a major release every month, and they're trying to like make sure to do that, you know, so it's like there's always something coming out for the Switch, and they seem to be doing that. I mean, they got June and July covered. I don't know what's up for August, but was it August, September, October, November, you know, December will probably be Mario, maybe Xenoblade in November, something like that. But yeah, this seems to be just rolling them all out.
Yep, and there was Bomberman. Just kidding.
Yeah, there was Bomberman at the beginning. Apparently, you can get some free skins for that. In case you ever wanted to play as Vic Viper from Gradius, you could totally do that. But yeah, that was the Direct. Is there anything that we missed, or anything you want to talk about the Splatoon?
Not that I can think about.
Yeah,
just glad they confirmed player mode. We knew it would be there, and they talked about revealing more info. But it was a nice little surprise finding that out today.
How do you feel about ARMS? Like, are you like planning on getting it, or do you want to wait until test?
Well, I'm going to definitely try the Test Punch out, so I'll have a better impression of it then. I mean, I guess I've already played it, but it'd be nice to play it at home and get that experience.
Well, yeah, we played it at the live place, but at the tests, but it's nothing until you actually get like in a couch and play it at home, to where you can actually kind of start to feel some of the way it works and all that.
But I'm leaning towards a strong yes. I mean, the 1 game a month thing works well for me, so.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like the small indies every week in between, like it's been solid. And and even for me, who didn't really get either of the big games for the Switch, I didn't get Mario Kart or Zelda. I've just been doing fine, just getting the indies every week. You know, that's been keeping me satisfied. Especially if like Neo Geo keeps putting out all these awesome fighting games, then I'm totally into it.
I did see the disclaimer at the bottom of the in the Direct today when they were showing the online mode for ARMS, saying that you'd have to start paying this fall for the online service.
Oh,
so they're still touting this fall being whenever they roll out. They're not saying when, but sometime this fall they're rolling out.
I figured that whatever it was going to show us Splatoon.
Yeah,
but Splatoon is July, and that's not fall. Really fall yet. So I don't know. I don't know when they would,
unless it shows up with Splatoon and it's free for a month, and then it starts being charged in August.
Yeah, they might do that. I mean, I figured that would be Splatoon would be what they want to show this off as, because the Splatoon, that's the type of game that you want to have like voice chat and all that with your team, because you're always in a team, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, we'll definitely let you know what we think of the Test Punch. I mean, won't be next episode, but it'll be the episode after that. And next week, you know, I'm gonna get Fire Emblem, so we'll talk about Fire Emblem Echoes for sure next week, and maybe some more maybe some Jumper stuff or Thumper stuff, and maybe some more Minecraft or something like that. You know,
stuff we be playing.
Yeah. And hopefully, yeah, whatever news we get after that. But yeah, that's been our episode 70. Is there anything you want to say before we take off here?
Have a great week. 71 soon.
Have a happy Christmas.
Don't get sad. 71's on its way.
You can find our podcast on iTunes, Nintendomain Podcast. We have a website, www.nintendomainpodcast.com. I have a Twitter, Nintendo_domain. You can look there to see when all of the episodes get published. They put them on there. it automatically updates it. That's when I do all my hashtags and shit like that. You can email us at nintendomainpodcast@gmail.com if you'd like to let us know about how much we suck at doing podcasts or something like that. Feel free to send it to that. But in the meantime, I guess stay Nintendo.
Keep on switching.
Yeah, keep on switching the free world. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Yeah, they started like I couldn't, like I said something and it was like wow, 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 wow. It was like all feedbacking. Feed.